Welcome back, guys, or welcome if you are just tuning in for the first time. I promise you're gonna want to stick around if you are by any means open for growth and new opportunities. I'm pretty sure you're gonna stick around. But yeah, the profits just keep growing. Obviously, I've been putting in the hard work, long hours, and I think when you start sharing stuff, and when you start getting so much positive feedback, I don't know why exactly, but it seems like our psychological side is structured in a way so that we tend to enjoy that so much. It gives us that chocolate bar feeling without eating the chocolate, if you know what I mean. So when I saw all the positive feedback, and when I saw people motivated, excited, ready to go, ready to learn, that gave me like a totally different perspective on what I do, and the whole idea with the free trading group, helping people within the group one-on-one for free. The appreciation just feels so good, even if you're not gaining any monetary value out of it in the short term. Obviously, in the long term, every single time when you provide value, on average, you're gonna have people signing up for your paid stuff. So you're still making money on the back end, but that's not the point at all, because especially if you don't come from a place that you are desperate to get money in, then that's gonna be making a big difference for you. But if you are coming from a point where you have everything that you need, so you come to give, and obviously it's not that hard to predict that you're gonna get back if you have like common sense, and if you know your price and your worth and so on and so forth. But there is a very different, like, for example, I'll give an example so that you get what I mean. When a teacher goes to teach in school, in uni, or whatever kind of setup, like normal, imagine a normal straightforward setup when someone is teaching something. Usually when they're teaching you, they go there and start teaching you expecting a salary, and if they don't get the salary at the end of the month, they'll stop teaching you, which straight away, like, it gives you that idea that something's wrong there. And in a way, it's not a bad thing to get paid to teach. Obviously people need to eat, need to pay the bills and so on and so forth. But when someone is focused on paying the bills, how the fuck are they going to be focused on teaching you? The same way, if someone like has everything they need and can solve every single problem they potentially could have, and just when they teach you, they can put like 100% in it, dedication and seeing the longer term and the bigger picture, instead of focusing on the salary at the end of the freaking month, or at the end of the freaking week, regardless what kind of terms you're gonna get your salary at. So that genuine connection between a teacher and someone that's willing to learn a new skill, and that appreciation and when you're genuinely trying to help people, and when they give you the feedback, you did help, you did contribute a lot, you did transform the way I trade, the way I drive, whatever type of skill you teach. I think all of us know it, that one of the best things on the planet is helping, and being appreciated. And that's why a lot of people are like constantly not happy, because most people don't appreciate. So if you find a way to create a product or a service where you teach some valuable stuff that people have no other choice but appreciate, and people have no other choice but be respectful, because you understand what respect means and what self-respect means. So when you self-respect yourself, ain't it, Dave? Thanks for providing any feedback, buddy. Any feedback, always very welcome and very appreciated. I can see I haven't followed you, so maybe you haven't been here before, but I'll give you a follow. So most of the people don't appreciate when you help them or when whatever. And thanks for the likes, buddy. And that's why most of the people are dissatisfied, because they seek that appreciation and they seek that part of their lives where they help people and get that feeling that they have made a difference, but at the same time the other side appreciates it. Because you still get some kind of satisfaction when you help and people don't appreciate it, because you still know within you that you transform that person's life. But there is a massive negative side when you see that they have just used you in a way, so they don't give a fuck about you in any way, shape or form, and they are not coming consuming your knowledge from a point of respect and so on and so forth. Yes, it is. It's definitely very, very important. And maybe because it's lacking so much. Bish. Maybe because it's lacking so much. I'll give you a follow as well. It seems like everyone is just... I think what the problem is, guys, in my opinion, when you think about it, now everyone, or like a massive percentage of the people, are getting used to a comfy lifestyle, and are getting used to being lazy, and getting used to getting an easy paycheck, and are focusing on the money. But we forget that money is only an exchange for value, and we forget to put out the value. So more and more people are going to get a paycheck, expecting that they're gonna get that paycheck with doing like an average kind of, service, which is very wrong, fundamentally wrong, because our families are broken, so the early childhood isn't... Yeah, 100%, I agree. I think I think you did a very good point there, because like, I was thinking, like, my family, my mother and my father are not like particularly, like, I wouldn't say they're bad people, but I can spot now when I'm growing up, the weak points, and they haven't been educated to think properly, if not even to think at all, or if they can think to some extent, it's a very limited type of thinking, rather. Yeah, probably that's most likely to be the case, because of course everyone can think, but between thinking and thinking there is like a massive difference. Yeah, maybe, yeah, but I think on one side there is nothing wrong with consuming stuff, and wanting a bigger car or a better car or a better house and so on and so forth. I think the problem is not wanting things and wanting improvement. I think the problem is when the want is more than the give. That's the problem, in my opinion. Because if you want, or not rather so much want, but you would appreciate if you have it. Like, for example, instead of buying like just any car, I chose a little bit better car than average. I chose a different car as well. I chose an electric car, even if it's like on the low end of low price, and I wouldn't say low quality because I wouldn't call it low quality car, but it's like on a low end of price. But at the same time, guys, I live in one room. I still rent one single room and bills included, and my rent is £90 a week, and that's all I have as an expenses in terms of bills. Everything is included, and I come back home to sleep and I get out. So in my case, and I don't want to rent an office because that's additional expenses. So my car is my office, my streaming studio, and I travel a lot as well, by default. Even if I don't have to go somewhere, I get in the car and go somewhere, and usually on a nice place, on a quiet place, and so on and so forth. But my car is my life, in a way. So there's nothing wrong that I wanted a little bit better car, but at the same time, by me choosing a better car, because I drive a lot, and because I create the content in the car, especially winter. If I was in my other car, which is right next to me, it's a 4K 1.3 petrol, and it's very noisy. If I was in the other car, I needed to stay in a cold car, or you wouldn't be able to hear me well. I wouldn't be able to hear my thoughts well. That noise of the small engine is very destructive, and so on and so forth. So there is nothing wrong with getting better things and improving your lifestyle, as long as you use it as a leverage to give back more, to be able to stream in a better environment, to be able to provide better kind of content, and so on and so forth, or whatever, or be more relaxed, be more entertained, so when you come back to work mode, you're a beast. Like play hard, work hard, play hard type of thing. Yeah, of course. Priorities are a big part. You can't put things over people. You can't put things over people. It's not how it works. But there was a very successful guy that I follow. There is a very successful guy that I follow, and his name is Dean Graziosi. I think it was the surname, and he teaches a very important concept that I come to realize myself even before I see him talking about it, but he put it in a very good way. So I combined my experience and my views with his, and the way life is you need to be selfish first, and you need to be very, very, extremely selfish, because if you just go to work and come back home and spend a lot of time with friends, family, and so on and so forth, and then expect to have some time left to grow, so that you can improve your lifestyle, you can improve control over yourself, you can potentially launch a successful business, launch a successful brand, and so on and so forth. All of these things, without even having that burden on myself, were hard to achieve. So if you I've tried that, to be nice with everyone and to put the rest of people first and yourself the least, then what you're gonna have at the end is a result where your life is a mess and you're not happy yourself and you can't give enough value. It's not about the quantity of time you spend with people, it's about the quality of the time you spend with people, the quality of the experience that you can share with people, the quality of the impact that you've got on people when you speak with someone. And I know that every single time when I speak with someone, regardless of on what level that person is, uh, I am contributing with at least 1% percentage improvement in their life, if they listen openly and they're willing to learn from my experience. And that pretty much uh, comes down to constantly learning and improving myself and perfecting myself, being the best version of myself. But it's hard and it takes loads of time of consuming information and analyzing that information. If you're only constantly socializing and trying to please everyone, again, what happens is you're not providing any quality time with them. It's always a balance between quality and quantity. You cannot provide quality with quantity with quality. The higher the quantity goes, the lower the quality goes, and vice versa. There is a negative correlation. As a woman, I gave too much. I should have held back for myself. Yes. Exactly, yeah. Exactly. And it's not, I don't think so. It's only in terms of, genders. I think it's a human thing. People like to give, but I think you should have rules. And the rules should be, you should set up a certain percentage, and the percentages should be uh, in your favor. You should have at least 60-70% of your life for yourself and your self-improvement, and you being happy, you being rested, you being well trained in the gym or whatever type of physical activities are you going to choose. Eat the proper food and all of the rest of the stuff. Take care of yourself first, and then when you are self-sufficient and completely satisfied in any terms, person, on your own, then you can build up happy relationship with the people around you, not only in terms of romantic relationships, any kind of relationships, business, romantic, friends, family, and so on and so forth. So it's not about quantity, it's about quality. You need to be providing quality stuff for yourself in order to be able to provide quality stuff for others. There is no other way around. There is no zero other ways around. I tried to be the best boyfriend. You can't be the best boyfriend when you're broke. In order to not be broke, you need to be selfish, and you need to not be a boyfriend for a while, and so on and so forth. And the more time we waste, the worse it becomes, and the harder it becomes to reverse, to like go back into the positive direction. And the thing is, the life is so short. And the other thing is, life is very competitive. So if you don't start early, and if you don't have an edge, that's where I come in when it comes to finances and health. And that's why I built the brand, so that I can let other people for free, if they want. If they want, they can become, paid members, and furthermore support myself in terms of me having all my problems when it comes to my bills or whatever taken care of. Because the more I realize that the more time now I start sharing with people for free, my personal income started dropping. So if I keep doing it, again it comes back to the balance. If you give away too much for free, you're gonna start having problems, because you're not gonna have that peace of mind that you had before. I have lost myself, so I'm going to see what new hobbies to try. Yeah, for sure you need to try as many things as you can, and try to be as much satisfied and happy and thriving, motivated, wake up with a big smile, win the day. It's very important to win the day. It's very important to know where you're going before you even start the day, and it's very important when you start the day to follow up with your plans and your goals and achieve them. You need to be winning the day, because when you win your day, what happens is, just because of the winning, and if you're not winning, you just need to lower your goals temporarily. Not the higher end goal, the end destination. The end destination can be billionaire, can be, completely financially free, doesn't matter, what the number is gonna be, but being able to get anything for yourself that you would like to have, including, a lot of free time and so on and so forth. Then goal doesn't matter. Then goal needs to be high as fuck in order to keep going. But the mini steps, if you're not winning the day, that means that your steps are not mini enough. Do mini enough steps, get to the winning part, and when you start winning, it feels so fucking good that the next day you're gonna wake up with that smile, because you know that you're gonna win the next day. When it becomes too easy to win the day, increase the um like the increase the toughness of the steps, increase the goals, and keep winning the fucking day. If you have a day that you didn't win, maybe you were too tired, maybe you needed to take that day off. Taking a day off is a win, especially after a series of 5, 10, in my case 20, 30 days sometimes without a day off, sometimes months in a row without a day off. As long as I keep winning and I feel good, even if I'm exhausted, I don't fucking care. I feel amazing. And I'm usually exhausted by the end of the day. Rarely I wake up exhausted from the very morning, like completely exhausted. In terms of, you said you don't understand trading, it's very simple. Trading is just, we trade time for money every single day. We trade, like people who have small shops, they trade the goods. People who do services, they trade the time again for the services. Everything is being traded. When you have a relationship, you trade your personal time for the relationship, because now you have less personal time. But the principle of the trading in terms of making money, even if it's a bit different, it remains pretty much the same. You need to trade something for something else. So what you trade usually on the market is just an asset. It's usually a couple of assets, like for example, dollar against yen if it's currencies, or crypto. I trade XRP against the dollar, but you're constantly exchanging them both. First you buy one, then you sell it back to the other one, and so on and so forth. And you know that there is always people who are gonna be willing. It's a liquid market, and you know there's always gonna be people who are gonna be willing to buy the one of the pairs that you own at the minute. And your job is just expecting at what price people are gonna be willing to pay for that thing a bit later on in the future, and buying it now so that you can sell it to them. That's what trading is. Exchanging one thing for another. That's what trade is. And you can do it on a hourly base or on a minute base. Even sometimes it's just a few minutes and you close the position. But that's what I teach. You don't need to know what it is or how to do it. Because when you start driving a car, you still don't know how to do it. When you start walking, you don't know how to do it. When you start talking, you don't know how to do it. Life is not about knowing how to do things. Life is about exploring. But we have been broken in terms of mindset. Our mindset is broken now. We don't dare to dream big. We don't dare to explore new things because we think we're not worth enough. And what I learned over time, and that's why I updated recently in my YouTube channel. I have uploaded a live stream which I did here. It was very recently, in the last last week probably, and it says, my background, and I'm talking about myself, how and my YouTube channel is the same name as here. If you struggle to find it, it's every social media I've got the same brand name. It's Day Trading Edge, meaning day trading, and edge is just an edge in something. That's how I came up with the name. And it's not only about trading, but you find out that in the future. I've got loads of free groups now about technologies and all that stuff, the potential wars that we might want to be aware of, so that we can adapt and prepare for it, or whatever. All kinds of health, improving intelligence is going to be one of the groups. The 1% Club is a group where I want to bring in people who feel like they're in the 1%, and people who would like to become a 1%er, meaning always successful, always positive, always living in abundance, or at least aiming to get there. And that's all it takes. Aim and shoot. Fail, try again. Ask someone else who has succeeded how they did it, what you can improve. And the thing what I wanted to talk about is about my background. If you watch the video, you'll see what I mean. But we tend to forget that if someone is successful or intelligent or speaks well or whatever, keep in mind that my English language is my second language. I'm not born in the UK at all. I've been here for like 5-6 years now at tops. And I've studied English not in the UK, but I studied in another country, so I had to relearn it in the UK, and learn proper UK language, so that I didn't have to. A lot of people don't do it, but I wanted to do it so that when I speak with different people, I can change my accent and the level of grammar and so on and so forth, so that everyone can clearly understand me. And I'm living here, so obviously I'm going to have to respect the country and the people and speak on the same level. I'm probably speaking on the higher level of most people, or like a big amount of people, but you get the point. Because a lot of people are not bothered about how properly they speak, and I am bothered about anything, especially when it's communication. The clearer you speak, and the more the better you express yourself, the better you will be understood, and so on, especially when it comes to teaching. And I knew that I want to teach people, because I knew where I'm going and that I'm going to be learning a lot of stuff, and there is no point learning them if you don't teach them later. But again, the point with the background was that I didn't start with that level of proficiency of English. I didn't start understanding how the universe works, how the smallest thing works, how pretty much everything works: health, money, debt cycles, macroeconomics, and all that stuff. I didn't know fuck all, and I didn't learn anywhere near that speed the way I learn now. My IQ was not anywhere near where it is now. I've at least 10x my IQ, if not more, from where I started in the past. So what I'm trying to say here is not so much to brag, even if it feels nice to. You can't lie that when you say what you've achieved, it feels nice. I won't be lying that it doesn't feel nice to remind myself and let people know what kind of journey I've taken. But that's not the point of the conversation. The point was to remind everyone that we are all equal, and we are all starting from somewhere. Even if someone starts a bit forward because of the genetics, means fuck all. It's only a starting position. When you get on a racetrack and you start from somewhere, does that determine if you do enough laps on the track, if you're gonna finish first or last? Does it? Fuck. All it matters is average speed. That's all. So if you're born with a lot, but your average speed is low, you end up losing in life, in competitions and so on and so forth. But if you're always, every single fucking day, waking up in the morning with one goal in mind, to be the best version of yourself and outcompete yourself, a hell of a lot of people are gonna struggle competing against you. Probably 99% of people. Because 99% of people don't start the day with that mindset. And I didn't realize that at the time as well. I thought that there is going to be a heavy competition in terms of where I want to be. And it's going to be loads of people trying to be the same person, to be the best version of themselves and all that stuff. To be ultra successful or whatever. Have full control over their life. Be adaptable. Be prosperous and abundant in any kind of economy, any kind of environment, and so on and so forth. I thought that everyone is striving for them things, but when I kept growing, I found out that that's not the case, and at some point it was lonely as fuck. But was it worth it? Was it worth meeting the people that I'm meeting now, and during my journey? Fuck yes. And the thing is, we tend to forget the past in terms of details, so we remember the general thing. And if the general thing that you're going to be remembering in 2 weeks or a month or in a year is that you were in a shit spot, or at least not that good of a spot that you are at that point in the future you remembering about the past you, when you remember that you went through shit but you made it on the other side, and now you're thriving and everyone wants to spend time with you, and people are kind of fighting for you. Girls are fighting for you to be your girlfriend or wife or whatever. Employers are trying to get you as an employee working for them or whatever. When I was exiting my position in my last forever job, I'm not planning to be employed ever again. When I was quitting my job, before I quit, there were stages where I kind of, you can call it begging. You won't be wrong saying that I was begging for, opportunities, to be given opportunities. I was explaining how that level where I am within the company is far from the level I can be in terms of not just what I will gain, but what the company will gain if they use my full potential within the company to give them ideas and to solve problems for them. And it was very clear to me that they're not solving their problems in the best, most efficient way, and so on and so forth. But the thing is, when you become better than another person in analyzing and problem solving and all that, you know that the other person is lower in terms of rating of problem